Hello, how are you all today? And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. I am so excited about my special guest. She and I have had the best time. And for people who have just met, I'm going to put it that way. We have had the best time. For people who have just gotten to know each other and met each other's acquaintance, but she is absolutely amazing. Her name is Kibibi. Make sure I got that right. And she is absolutely amazing. She does some awesome things. She has her own dance company. This woman is an artist. She dances, she probably sing. I wouldn't be surprised. Now I haven't gotten that far into it because I'm just looking forward to interviewing her. But I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't put it past her. I'm just gonna be honest, because she definitely looks like she's got a voice on her. But her artwork is amazing. She does some amazing garments and dyes that you guys have to see. She has won awards. She's been in a magazine, and that's why I was like, I have to have you on the show. I have to have you on the show. And she said, okay. And I said, wonderful. So I'm not going to prolong this because I'll run out of things to talk about unless I have somebody up here to talk to. And I am just grateful that you guys are joining in with us for another segment of Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, Black Art and Culture. Look at me, I'm bringing my head down because I'm gonna put this one up because it's a lot easier and I don't have to bring my head down. For another segment of Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, Black Art and Culture. We are on every Saturday at 6 o'clock. Come in and join us and be a part and learn something new about these amazing artists. You can meet them, share in what they do. It's like the whole point of this show is so that you can meet the artists and learn about what they do, and not just learn about what they do, but to get to know them, heart and soul. Now, mind you, it's all about being here and sharing, leaving comments, asking questions, because they love it when you ask them questions and share in what they do. Artists love to share what they do, but they also like to sell what they do. So I put their websites up. I want you to follow them, all of that kind of stuff. And if you're on the YouTube site, subscribe to the channel so that you can get all the latest updates. Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. Go ahead and hit that like button and be a part of the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show page and get to know what we do. So I'm not going to hold you long. I'm going to bring Miss Kibibi up because I just love saying her name. I'm just going to be honest. It's a really cool name. So I'm going to bring her up and we're just going to have a really good time talking and sharing. And I'm just looking forward to having her. So come on up, lady.
Come up.
Come on up. How are you today?
I am absolutely wonderful. I really am. I'm wonderful. I'm having a really great day. Oh my goodness, I'm having a really great week. After so much drama in this country, it is nice to be on. So, I'm just artists coming through me and creativity is coming through me. I'm just having a good time.
Good.
And I want to thank you for having me on.
Hey, you know what? When I talked to you and I said, hey, let's get together, let's get you on the show, and you agreed, I was like, I like this woman even more.
Well, it just worked out. You had a window, I had a window, it all matched up, and so that means it was supposed to happen.
It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. And that's just it. That was the amazing part about it. I just love your spirit. I love what you do. I love who you are. And like people are like, you just met her. It does not take kindred spirits long to connect and get to know each other. And we talked about so much on Thursday night and until it was just amazing. And so I just want you to know, because even after I talked to Poncho, I said, I love this woman. I said, we just connected. I said, she has such an amazing spirit. I mean, I just went on, I was like gushing all over the place about you.
Well, thank you.
So
Thank you.
I just want you to know.
I have enjoyed every second of every conversation that we've had, and it's only been just a couple of days. I think we're
I know, I know, I know. That's the funny part about it is when people connect, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take, you don't have to work at it. And that's the beauty of it. And we talked about that. I've just been loving connecting with so many artists because it's like being a old home week. It's like coming home.
That's the truth. It's the truth.
It's like it's not exhausting. You know how sometimes you'll go to a party and you're like,
yeah,
I don't know anybody, and then you got to drum up that conversation. Not with artists, and I definitely didn't have to do it with you. I felt very comfortable with us sharing and talking, and so that in itself was amazing. So I really, really, truly appreciate you and you coming onto the show and being a part of the Beauty of Blackness, Black art and culture. So now that I'm done doting on you, share a little bit about who you are, because I want people to get to know you. I want people to know who you are. I want them to know what you do. And don't be holding back on the whole dance thing too, because I put it on here. I got it. I got everything on here. I got everything. You are an artist, a curator, an educator, dance. Look, you see what I got on there? Everything. I got all of it. So
it's all true. It's all true.
Okay.
Most people know me as the director of Sankofa Dance Theater, as an African dancer, as you know, that is what most people know me. That is what I have done for 40 years. And under that umbrella, not only have I had a company that I've trained, we went, traveled to Africa to train my artists, my drummers, my dancers. So not only have I had a company, in order to fuel that company, in order to make sure that we always had artists that were ready to go, I had a really big community footprint, teaching classes for children, drum and dance for children from the age of 3 on up through adults. So you have all these levels, and each level had performance. So you just keep, you train here, you train here, you train here. By the time that thing that misses us as African American people, right? That rhythm, we're rhythmic people.
Right.
The nuance of the village is in you, and you can't miss it. Your response to the rhythm and to the complexity, it's in you, and you can't miss it. But that's not so different from who I am as a visual artist, as a fiber artist, because what I did, that came second nature to me, because I'm the granddaughter of a quilt maker. I've got, aunts that made all of their clothes, built bodies of wardrobe, and sewed for not only themselves. One aunt was a home ec teacher, and that was her livelihood to train. And so I just had this thing all around me all of my life, right? All of the women, so many women in my life, it just kind of came second nature. So I brought that to who I was as a dancer. And there was a point, and there were times and years where we'd have 100 people on the stage, and every single costume I touched, every single piece of fabric, I would try to acquire that. Every single prop or artifact, I'd travel to acquire it, or I would make it or design it and have it made. So what I'm doing now is just that. That's it. It's just that, because it took research, it took curatorial energy, it took planning and, making and all of those things. And it took, as time evolved, other people to do those things. So there you have artist, educator, curator, all those things. That's what I have been my entire adult life, 40 years plus.
Well, and that was the thing, is that you have so many things going on. And I know you've been to Africa, but and I know your family has been in that textile world for a number of years. But what brought you into this whole African feel? Because your children, the drumming, and all of those kind of things. What actually got you in touch with that portion of who you are?
I mean, that's a hard question in America. That's a complex question in America. It might have been because in the early part of my year, I went to a school, always the only Black person.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might have been that.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the fact that my father, who was a scholar and an educator and an academic, went to Tuskegee University
Mm-hmm.
and was the student of Dr. George Washington Carver.
Mm.
And then as his role sir at Morgan, which is Morgan in Baltimore, which is an HBCU,
Mm-hmm.
in his role, he always did programming that brought in melanated people from all around the world to train as botanists and to train as biologists and to work at places like NASA. So it
Mm-hmm.
might have been that. It
Mm-hmm.
might have been the fact that his friends traveled. Like
Mm.
my very first piece of African fabric came because one of his colleagues brought it back from Kenya, and I was maybe 11.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, so when you put all those things together, it's the sum total of who I am. You
Right,
know,
right, right. That's interesting, because even when we were speaking the other day, I'm like, what sparked it? What? Because we all travel this world as Black people, and some of us get deeper into our heritage, and some of us kind of skim the surface of it. I mean, we're all aware of being Black,
true.
but for you, it's like, I'm not just aware of being Black. I want to go back to the foundation.
It's different. It's not that. It's that
Mm-hmm.
when I travel and I
Mm-hmm.
go to some place that is only me, I feel safe. I always have. The first time I went to a country and all I saw was people of color, was Black people,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I fit in.
Mm-hmm.
I feel comfortable. I
Right.
don't have to speak the language. I fit in. I fit
Right.
in more here than
Mm-hmm.
I do at home.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
it hasn't changed. When I went to Nigeria in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
so much like I belonged that they didn't even take you have to have that document, that card you
Right.
fill out. They
Right.
didn't
Right.
even take my card when I was going through the airport. They just like, oh, you go on, go through. Now it was a little difficult when I was trying to come home, but
Yeah,
but
you trying to come home? They're like, "Who are you?
yeah,
What? You belong here?"
they certainly did. They certainly did. It was a little difficult when I was trying to come. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they just waved me right through the airport.
Right.
So it is. It's a I feel welcome when
Mm-hmm.
I am in an African country, when I am in a Caribbean country. I
Mm.
no longer feel like in America. I feel more at home, and
Right. Mm-hmm.
my thought is, maybe I should stay. Comfortable. Maybe I shouldn't go
It's like,
home.
maybe I should stay, but I might miss some of those amenities.
Yeah, then there's that. Love the amenities, Then there's that. But I can do a good month or two of village
Hey, I'm
time
I'm
and
there with you, because
feel good.
it's like I can survive for a few, maybe a month or so, but I'm gonna miss that whole. I like running water.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
I
True.
like to tell the difference between hot and cold, and we've
True.
had that conversation.
Truth. Truth. That is true. Truth.
But it's a beautiful country. Beautiful people.
Yes, Conti.
Beautiful people, absolutely amazing. The culture. One of the things I did a series of paintings. They were pastels, and when I brought them back, everybody was, "How come those kids are so happy?" I said, "That's because you're inundated with all of the unhappy kids on TV when they're asking for money."
That's right.
I said,
That's
I
right.
said, kids in Africa are just as happy as kids in America.
Well, you have to remember the reason that Africa has been pillaged so badly is because
Hmm.
of the riches, not because of, so that
Right.
anything that it's saying otherwise is not the truth, you know.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's just it. So so with that, and I totally understand what that whole feel of fitting in, and I live in Fort Collins, so I'm just gonna tell you. So
Yeah, yeah.
and we had that conversation.
We had that. I'm familiar with Colorado. Yes, I am.
So I totally understand the whole feel, want that desire to feel, because one of the things I always tell people is, when you walk in a room, you're looking for somebody that looks like you. When you walk in a room, it's automatic. It's not, like I'm just sitting here. No, it's automatic. And soon as you see somebody, it's like, hey, all right then.
And it's not a hatred. It's
Right,
not anger. It's just that you want that kindred feeling, like we
right.
talked about, where
Mhm.
you want to feel and see yourself in the world around you.
Exactly. That
Everybody.
relatability. I
That's right.
relate to you. Mhm.
Everybody does. Yeah.
And it's not
Mhm.
just, yeah, and that's just it. It's not just Black people. Everybody does it. I've been in, rooms where it's like, my husband, he's in the family. He's looking for him somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the only one here. And
Yeah.
I like to do that because a lot of times I'm the only one here. So we get that same feeling everywhere we go. And that's the beauty of connecting and being a part. And it's wonderful when we can have those experiences.
That's
And it's wonderful when we can have those experiences in the African American culture and in the African culture, and being able to go and experience that. But I do remember the time when everybody was like, "I'm going back to Africa." And I was young, and I said, "You wouldn't last a week."
Yeah. Yeah. People don't understand, but I believe that everybody
Mhm.
should travel and travel broadly.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
and I believe that it is my responsibility to share what I love. That's what
Hmm.
artists do. We
Right.
share what we love, and what we love, if we're doing it right, will
Hmm.
create dialogue, will create conversation, will create interaction.
Exactly.
So if I understand my connection, my roots, my what, and then some traveled gets
Hmm.
to relate to my art, then I'm doing something. I am
Exactly.
broadening people's experiences and their understanding. So, you know,
And that's what I love about it. And so that's why I want us to get into some of your work, because I think I've done tie-dye for years,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but I
mm-hmm,
love indigo.
mm-hmm.
I've never done that type of tie-dye. I've never gotten into that style, because a lot of times people are like, "Well, I tie-dye," but to me, there's a spiritual aspect to indigo dyeing. Like, my husband has a beautiful piece that he has from Africa years ago. He has a beautiful piece of indigo that was done there. But I find that, to me, that is different. And I'm not saying the style or how you go about doing it, but there is something about using those minerals and those materials that sets that type of dyeing totally separate from your tie dyeing, in a sense. So share with me what that experience is like.
Okay, so let me tell you, you asked the question because right now my world is all about indigo. It really
Mhm.
is. pigments. That's my lens, my focus, my passion. It's flavoring and color and everything went the day I spent doing some collage work, and it was all using indigo pigment. So lots of blue in my life right now. We are at a time in this culture where, in this world, in this country,
Mm-hmm.
where people are beginning to be more excited, more aware, more inclined to want to engage with natural processes
Mm-hmm.
and natural dye traditions.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We also are in a culture that loves denim. We love jeans. We do. We love, and that is indigo at
Mm-hmm.
its base. That is that denim originated with indigo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I find it interesting that when we talk about that in this country, unless you've traveled, unless you talk about your piece of indigo.
I think you've frozen on me. Let me make sure you haven't frozen on the Facebook. So I'm just making sure that we are not frozen.
Oh,
Oh, no. It just froze. I think it froze a little bit. So go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. So he probably got that piece of fabric in West Africa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Most often, when we're talking about indigo in this country and people are like on that natural dye, they're talking about Asian dye processes.
Right.
Korean, Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about shibori, tie and dye tradition. They're talking about what they know from the 70s, the 60s, and you see that tie-dye thing that was, so down to earth and grassroots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you really look deeper, what you know is that indigo was popular. It was a really big cash crop in this country. It changed the slave trade. It really did. There was a time in this country where indigo made as much money for South Carolinian farmer plantation owners.
Oh, wow.
As cotton did, as tobacco did. It rivaled that. But what happened was, now it changed the slave trade because the plantation owners did not have the chemistry, the expertise, the know-how, the new information become really good producers of indigo. So they began to kidnap from slaves from countries that were indigo dyeing countries that have that. But when it got here, there was no artistry attached to it. It was simply and merely a cash crop.
Right.
So you don't hear about indigo in this country and the artistry from it.
Right.
Because came from West Africa to America as a cash crop and through chattel slavery, you don't hear about the glory of West African traditions. So much shame and embarrassment attached or negativity or whatever. But the beauty is unparalleled. And in Africa, indigo goes way back to the pharaohs in Egypt, which of course is an African country. And see the history of indigo as it's moved from Egypt all the way through to Nigeria and into Mali and into West Africa. And the traditions of dyeing indigo are beautiful, wonderful. They go back. There are some villages that when a child is born, there's a piece of cloth started for them. And that cloth follows them. It becomes instrumental as they go through rites of passage. It becomes very instrumental as they go through marriage, and it becomes the shroud and as they're funeralized. Cloth has been this thing that has been very, very, very important in West African traditions. And when you look at cloth that has come about in West African traditions, every piece, every symbol, every meaning, it is it not only has beauty that you can look at and love, but there's a meaning. You know, you might look at something that is a mantra for a positive life. It might mean that you are the royalty and king and queen. It might, you know, it is fascinating. It's fascinating. So to take those traditions, understand them, work to educate myself and those who I touch, but also curate my own creativity so that I'm blending past and present and making this African contemporary artwork that is a message for the future. I'm it's just really giving me so much joy right now. So much joy.
I can tell. It's pretty amazing to be able to see that and to combine that with what you do, because you understand all of this history. You understand all of this. And then so you're able to actually have that passion about it, because it's not just I'm tie-dyeing, or I'm creating this. Because you know, like some people can stumble on things and create them, but
Yes.
you are not stumbling on them. You've actually nurtured and studied and learned. So when you bring it into fruition, you're bringing an entire culture and history along with it. It's not just look at this beautiful piece of work. And I'm going to show a piece. I pulled this off your Facebook page because I love these. These were scarves that you were doing. And I'm just going to scoot over this way because I like to show you and it. And so these were scarves that you had done.
Well, you
And
know, I worked on those recently and they will be available in my holiday marketplace that's
I
coming.
saw that too.
Mhm, mhm.
I saw that that these were new. These are things that you've just created just recently, and they're going to be a part of your holiday market. And so I definitely want you guys to check out the holiday market. I'm gonna put it up. So she will be, you can join her. And this is actually you're coming right up this coming Friday
This
on the
coming Friday.
27th. So make sure you guys tune in to I want Kibibi's. Tune into Kibibi's Holiday Market, and it's on Facebook. So definitely check her out, Kibibi's Artistry. And she's going to say her last name because I refuse to mess it up.
It's just like it looks. Kibibi Ajanku. Yeah.
John Koo. No, it's not, because I would have said a John Koo, and you said Kibibi a John Koo. It's different.
Yeah.
There is a
Four
difference.
consecutive Fridays. 4 consecutive Fridays.
4 consecutive
7 o'clock
Fridays.
Eastern Standard Time. So
Mhm.
for your Colorado folk, that's
Mhm.
actually going to not be 7 o'clock. It'll be 5 o'clock mid. What is this? Mountain time?
Right. This is mountain time, but let me tell you, let me share something with you, Kibibi. When you put that on
Yes.
and it shows in Colorado time, it
Yes.
will show in the time zone that it's in.
Ah,
Because you're scheduling it on StreamYard, and StreamYard changes the time according to the time zone.
the magic of StreamYard.
I know, that's what I love it. That's what I love about it, because I don't have to go in and put all these different mountain standards, this standard. So that's the magic of it. So when you do it and you send it out and I share it, it'll be shared under the right time. So
Ah,
you'll have it on, it'll be shared under the right time.
the
So
magic of
definitely check out, go in. I'm gonna put that up again because I want people to see it. Come and join Kibibi's Holiday Market, because I think it's going to be, I know it's going to be a lot of fun. And you can pick up some of these really nice scarves because I will be there, because so I just want to, so I was looking at them to see which one I want to pick out, because I love all of those. So definitely stop by and pick some of those out, and we'll post that again so people can come. And I decided I'm running your Facebook. If you guys look down at the bottom, you have her Instagram, Facebook. Definitely go ahead and like her page. Send her, I don't think it's a friend request because Kibibi's probably full, but it has all of her Facebooks on there and her Instagram. So
Yeah,
definitely go
I think
check
you
her out.
can follow my profile, my personal page,
Right.
and you can like me on my artist page.
Right.
And I'm doing everything to kind of keep those pages balanced, so that if you're on one page, not the other, you won't miss out.
Right. Exactly. So definitely. And what I like about Kibibi's pages is it's not all messed up with Kibibi 247. It's all the same. So
You got to make it easy, right?
you got to make it easy. So you'll be able to find her based on her name. You'll be able to find her Kibibi's artistry. So you'll be able to go on there. So what I want to talk a little bit about is, oh, look at somebody said, she says she loves those beautiful scarves. So then we will see you, Denise, boom, at the holiday market.
I look forward to seeing you there, Denise Allen.
That's right. We want to see Denise at the holiday market. So, so come on into the holiday market. So I want to talk a little bit about, now you were just in a magazine.
Yes, I was.
So I'm going to pull that up here. Now tell us, Be More Art. You were in Be More Art. So share with us a little bit about this.
Well, Be More Art is a pretty amazing magazine. It is really just about working to it's a local publication, but it is an amazing publication. So if you can get it wherever you are, just go to bemoreart.com and subscribe. Anyway, the person that wrote that article, a few years ago, I did an exhibition entitled Indigo Magic. And the person that wrote that article covered that exhibition. I brought together a whole grouping of artists that, and they responded to my prompt about indigo. About how it is magical, how it is, just something that is bigger than the color. And so they made art that responded to that. Anyway, Angela Carroll, the writer of this article, heard that I was teaching as part of a collection of a teaching team at the Maryland Institute College of Art for a class called the Natural Dye Initiative, where we were really looking at all kinds of traditions and complexities surrounding natural dyes. I was brought in specifically for indigo. And so this is just so Angela came to interview me, and she talks about many of the things we talked about today, how I think that the thing, it's bigger than blue. It's bigger than blue. Indigo is this thing. When you dye using a natural vat, first of all, it's a chemical you have to feed it, and you have to interact with it, and you have to, really, in order to keep it going. And you can keep that vat going as much as a year and keep dyeing out of it.
Right. So how do you create that? I mean, where do you pull that color from?
You create, now indigo as a dye responds differently. It wraps around the fiber instead of infusing into the fiber.
Okay.
When you dip the fabric, you pull it out, and when the air hits it, it turns blue. It's so magical. Oh my gosh.
So it's not blue when you put it in?
You put it in and it might be white, like this piece of paper. right?
Really?
You put it in, it comes out, and it is at first a light green. When the air hits it, it begins to turn a blue, like a sky blue. And you let it dry, you let it aerate, you go again. So you see
So it's green. It's a greenish color right here.
that,
Yeah.
but that has gone through about 3 dips. So it gets a
Okay.
little deeper each time. That will turn blue. That actually, as the air hit it, turned blue over time. So you
Now,
can
what
see,
is the stick that you're using?
well, you need to stir it with a wooden stick. You don't, so you need to stir it with, you have to air it, you have to stir it. You have to make
Mhm.
sure you stir it at least twice a day so that it stays activated. So because it is
So
a
that's the vat you're talking about.
that
You're
is that.
stirring your vat
That's right.
and it stays. It's not like, because I know I use some I use commercial dyes and they get weaker as the day go on.
That's
They
right.
get, they get weaker, and so you can't use them, because sometimes I'd store them, because at one point I was dyeing 30 garments a day because I sold them at farmers markets and things like that. But I wasn't able to store that dye for long in barrels because it would get weaker as the day went on.
With chemical dyes like Procyon, or those nice, they're nice dyes. They really
Hmm.
have
Right.
a lot of capability,
Hmm.
and a lot of stability.
Right.
But you will exhaust that.
Hmm.
If you can dye 10 garments, then you can
Hmm.
dye 10 garments over. It's
Hmm.
not going to dye anymore. With
Right.
indigo, you can exhaust the vat,
Hmm.
but you can also rest the vat and it will kind of power up again. You know,
Really?
if I'm careful, if
Hmm.
I dye just a nominal amount, so that's a small vat right there. If
Hmm.
I dye like 3 or 4 pieces, or one medium sized garment, um, day, then I probably need to just stir it and
Hmm.
keep it nice and warm, and it will charge itself.
Hmm.
And I'll let it rest the next day and then
Hmm.
dye the day following.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If it is looking weak, I can feed it with, like, uh, you can use banana or you can use fructose, and you
Hmm.
can kind of feed it. You
Hmm.
just want to make water. You can add alkaline in it. You can do
Hmm.
those things to kind of manipulate it
Right.
and manage a good balance. And
Hmm.
that's how you keep the vet going for a long time.
So it has a very, it's very organic.
It
That's what it sounds
is.
like. It's very organic, and it's almost, it's like it has a life of its own. It has a feel of its own, because that's what I'm hearing from you. It's like you feed it, you nurture it. It's not that's what gives it that natural, that such a natural quality. And I think that's why it's so beautiful, because it's not this chemical dye where I'll be honest, me, I'm like, I mix it up, I throw some, I have, I use kale, and I do use a lot of other things in my dye, because I have very vibrant colors, and there are things that you do to make that happen. But it's not like what you're doing. I wasn't nurturing my dye.
Right, right, right,
It's
right.
like I wasn't nurturing it. Me, I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that these colors are the way I want them to be. And my focus was more on what I was creating. It's like my creating the mandalas, and creating the animals and flowers, and the different things that I was creating with it. It wasn't, my focus was not on the dye. Whereas with indigo, it's almost like a living, breathing part of the process.
It's part of the artistry. And
Mm.
in truth, I do some of both.
Mhm.
I do some of both. I work with other kinds of dyes as well.
Mhm.
But to work with indigo it is the whole process. It is not
Right.
just, that's part of the artistry. It's being
Right.
have the success of bringing that blue, you
Mhm.
know, um, of making that, keeping that vat happy. And if you scroll just a little bit, it says a happy vat has a healthy looking bloom on top. And then I'll say, maybe she's lonely. Let's talk to it a while, because it almost feels like you are taking care of this thing that is a living entity.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's like we'll feed her as she start. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. You guys have to go and get this magazine and read the article. I have it because she sent it to me. But
and it's online. You can go to bemoreart.com. You can
right.
subscribe to the magazine because it is an amazing magazine.
Right.
But you
So
also
definitely go online and check it out. This is some of the colors, the different ones that
We'll put the link in the chat.
Right. Yeah. So it's, what is it? Be More Art. Let's do
art.com.
Yeah, we'll put that in there. Be More Art.com. There we go. And I capitalized the E, which we don't need to. All right. So see there. Let's add it. And so that's where you guys would go. Did I do that right? BeMoreArt.com. Okay. Go to BeMoreArt.com, and this was
take that. It's just not B like
Oh
B.
yeah, you're right. It's
just the letter B. Yeah. Yeah. It's tricky.
There you go. Tricky for some like me. There we go. And which article? This is August 10th, 2020. So look for that article. It is an amazing article. You definitely want to read it. I find it absolutely awesome and the pictures are just amazing. I love the pictures of you because they're just, and look at this. So when you created this, because you still have some of the green in here, which is awesome. Because you did, go ahead.
That piece is the piece that I just pulled out that you looked at and it looked green. So that part that is green turned blue and did turn blue. And then the part that is darker blue will have, after it got enough air, turned an even darker blue.
Oh, okay.
The definition and the design.
So when you took it out, because this had a band on it.
That's right. That's right.
And then when you pulled it out, because this didn't get the same air as the rest of it.
That's right. That's okay. Right.
Nice. I love this picture. This is my favorite picture. Is that your vat bowl? It's like my vat bowl.
My mortar. That's my mortar. That's right.
So now do you, with it being natural colors, these are absolutely phenomenal. The colors in here, is this one that you created right here? Because the pattern
I did actually in Nigeria. Those things hanging up, I actually that's the work from my time in Nigeria.
That's what I figured. Now, because that's one sheet. And so you were able to create this with one sheet, create all these patterns. So that had to take some serious work there.
It took 3 weeks.
Okay.
And another week, the final week was just the dye week, okay. So it really just the design.
So are these sewed in or hand, are they sewed in patterns, or are they band in patterns?
No, they're painted on. So the one that is furthest away is done with the oldest, most traditional dye resist technique for Yoruba dye traditions. It's called adire. And that is done with cassava paste. It is done, like cassava plant or cassava flour. You use the cassava flour to make a paste. And you paint the designs on with that, and the symbols, because they each mean something. The one that is closest was done with batik wax, paraffin wax.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so then that is So
it's almost like with the wax, it's almost like the silk scarf process.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I want the dress. Whenever you can get that to me, that would be great. So this is a piece here that you've done. Look how blue your hands are.
I know. I have just finished. You know, when I'm deep into working in the vat, my hands just stay blue for a while. But you know, they come back.
So these pictures are all done where?
That is a place in the county in Baltimore County called Loch Raven Dam.
Okay.
So what you see is the water is the dam,
Mhm.
and you know, so there's kind of a natural preserve and
Mhm.
protected land that people can access.
Okay. Well, this was a great, I mean, it was a great area. Look at this. Look, look at you. It's all about me, people. All about me. These are really nice too. So, how did you painted these as well? Or these patterns aren't painted?
So the one on the right side, the
Mhm.
one on the left side is by stamp.
Okay.
You know, so you stamp the wax on like
Okay.
that.
Mhm.
And the one on the right side is with a roller ball, if you will,
Okay.
a wheel that rolls the
The
pattern off.
pattern. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you dye it.
And then you dye it.
Okay. So that has to take a day and a night for real.
Well, or a few weeks.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
it's
meant by a day and a night.
not fast. That's right. It's certainly not fast, you know, and that's
Right.
why
Well,
these traditions. That's why these traditions are so fascinating
mhm.
and honoring. Because if somebody doesn't, they will die out. You know,
Right.
we're in a time where everything's got to be fast. Everything's got to,
Exactly.
you know.
Everybody's trying to rush through it. And I love the fact that you went to learn. It's like you didn't just you didn't just like, oh, I want to learn how to do this kind of dyeing. I'm just going to sit at home. I'm going to go Google it. I'm going to figure it out. And you actually went to the foundation. You went to where it started so that you could get more.
Yeah,
It's like, mhm,
I think that, I mean, that's the way I approach everything I do artistically. That's the
mhm,
way I've approached, you know, African dance. You have people that are training you here, but then in order to really, if you're going to say I'm doing this and I understand the authentic nature of it, then
mhm,
I have to be true in that. You know, I have to be true in that. So
mhm.
at least that's what I feel. And I have the luxury of it. Lots of people, you know, I'm a traveling artist. I like to travel. That's what I am. So uh if I gotta go get it. That's all I can say. Is I just gotta go get it.
I'm going to get it.
I
If I
gotta
don't have it, I'm going to get it. Now you just won. You just received a grant.
I
Um, just recently.
I did. I did. The Ruby's Artist Award. There are not many artist awards happening in this world right now, and there's certainly not that many in Baltimore. So I feel very honored to have been chosen to receive a Ruby's Artist Award. It's not an easy for for my work in indigo. So my request, my grant, my responsibility now is to create this past, present, future. So the
Mm,
past, West African dyed traditions, the past, plantation quilt making,
mhm,
patchwork quilt making. The present is me working it. The
mhm.
outcome is the future.
Mm.
Um, there will be an exhibition. I think if it weren't for COVID, there would have been much traveling. I'd already be on the road, you know.
I hope
Uh,
you're coming up here to Colorado so I can see you.
as soon as it clears, I will be there. I actually have a flight. I told you my daughter used to live in Colorado. I
Mhm.
actually have a flight. I was going to bring my in March but
Mhm.
then COVID happened. So I actually have, airfare to Colorado.
Right. So that means that come
That's
September during the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, I should be seeing somebody.
you could. That is where you could.
Well,
That is
I have
very
Miss Denise is on here and she done typed up a whole lot of stuff. She wants to know where you're located. Do you teach classes? she,
oh,
she,
the nice thing, I'm located in Baltimore, Maryland. The nice thing about being connected to Maryland Institute, because one of my responsibilities and requirements is that I do community classes. So for everything that I teach in the university setting,
Mhm.
we have an on off-site, and I do community classes as well.
Mm. Oh,
Um,
nice.
so that is really nice thing. The indigo vat going. I'm teaching cassava paste dye resist, and
So I have to
people
come all the way to Baltimore if I got to learn something. So Denise, I don't know where you are, honey, but we have to go to we have to go to Baltimore.
yeah, road trip. There's
I
nothing but
got we got another one in here. It's like love what you're doing, want to learn some of those techniques. Let me tell you all something. Miss Kibibi is gonna be blowing up the internet in a minute because she's gonna be all over here. She's picked up her some new methods, and so you guys go over to her page and follow her. Follow her on her Facebook page. Here, I'm gonna stop the scroll so you guys can see it for real, up close and personal. We have her Instagram page. We have her Facebook pages. Go over and like her page, follow her page. You'll be able to communicate with her through her page. If you guys are interested in some things, she can let you know when she's about to do something, when she's putting things on air. I'm pretty sure she's going to be sharing even with her art and all of those kind of things. So you guys go to her page, like her on Instagram, follow her on Facebook. If you're like, I can't fit, she's already got 5,000, follow.
That's right. Come on.
Follow. She would love to have you. She loves sharing what she does. So definitely take advantage of that. Those that are interested in what she does, she is an educator, which means that she educates. So if you are looking to learn what she does, this is the best way to do it, is follow her on her pages and get to know what she does. So that is one of the best ways to do all of those kind of things. And like she says, she just got a grant, so she's going to be doing even more with that, even more with that fellowship. So you were sharing about the grant that you had and the travel so there's more than likely going to be an exhibit.
Yeah,
And
and it will be it'll fall right after the Beauty of Blackness Fine Arts Show. It
oh,
should
okay.
fall in the early fall like that. So
Okay.
we're looking to see how safe, how we can get out, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I
Oh,
think
so we'll be talking about that. We'll have another interview, people. Sounds like another interview to me, people. I just wanted to let you all know. So I do have, let's see, I want to pull up this because I just loved it. I was scrolling through it and I wasn't able to do the slideshow, but this one looks pretty good right here. So we're going to do this right here. It may not be the slideshow. And
well,
you
actually, that's
going to
part of the slideshow. Where did that come? Where did you find that?
actually this right
That
here.
is the slideshow. That's it.
It's the slideshow. It's what you sent me, but I just took it off the email instead of going into the presentation. I told you I'm going to come up with something.
Well, if we have time, we could run through that real quick.
I want to run through it. That's why I put it up here. I
And
wanted to run through it. So I want you, now you are about to embark up on the journey of Kibibi, because that's the whole thing, where Kibibi comes and where she's going.
well, appreciate you. I appreciate you. This is pretty much, we've kind of covered all of this. It just says that I make ethnically charged art as a fiber that and as an arts activist,
Mhm,
because when I talk about who I am as a researcher, as an educator, that that's that social justice piece. If I
mhm,
start thinking about the reason for all of these things to exist, it washes out as social justice.
mhm,
And it goes on to say that I go on to say that, it seems like I have a lot of intersections, but not really.
mhm,
Yes, I do a lot of things. I'm a performing artist, I'm an educator, I'm a visual artist, but it's the combination of those things.
mhm, mhm,
It's the sum total of those things all that are actually make it important, right?
mhm. Right.
So, I make Afrocentric art. Keep scrolling a little bit.
Okay.
It shows up as dolls.
Oh,
Um,
I love those.
it shows up as dolls,
I
right?
love these. Yeah. I have this piece out on the slide. Tell me
Um,
about this piece.
well, it is. I was thinking about talismans when
Mhm,
I was thinking about protection.
mhm,
This actually is kind of recent. I made it at the beginning of COVID, and we were all in and we were all terrified. So I
mhm,
made all of these kind of protection pieces. I did this mortar and pestle. I did, and so this, I was thinking of a doll as a talisman, and
mhm,
that little brass pouch in the middle of it
mhm,
would hold like herbs and medicine that would be protective. Cowrie shells are a symbol of prosperity.
mhm,
Glass beads are a symbol of strength. Those trade beads are, a symbol that are hanging from the dollar, a symbol of prosperity and interaction and interconnectivity.
mhm.
People. And then, of course, all of this is indigo. And it was dyed in the vat that I had going across the summer.
Oh,
So,
okay. Okay.
and then it's leather to represent who we are as human beings, the
Mhm.
skin we're in,
Oh,
you know?
okay. Okay. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I
So,
really liked I and because I the bead work, I really love the bead work, and I love the fact that you added that indigo right in there. Oh, you
yeah.
can see my little cursor. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, my work takes shape in motion. That's,
Mhm,
some of the costume work that I've done, for young people and,
mm.
not so young people and drummers and, you know, it's working in the tradition and then working in this fusion, this
Mhm.
way that is like I did a whole collection of African tutus for a while because I was idea that every dancer needs a tutu. Every beautiful woman needs a tutu. So
Everybody should have a tutu.
everybody should
But
have a
that's
tutu.
this one right here, and that's really pretty.
That's right. And so that's fusion. That's not traditional. That's more like Afrofuturistic.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
um,
So
you know, on mannequins. That's more costume work, but
mhm.
it's on paper.
These are really so you this is some indigo on paper?
It
So
is
you
indigo. It is indigo swatches, so it's fabric and paper.
okay, that's what I was thinking.
Ankara fabric, indigo
Mhm.
fabric with um, designs in
Now,
mass.
what is this?
That's a harvest mask. It's a replica of a harvest mask danced by the Jola people.
Okay, and what's the fabric? What is that?
Raffia. That's raffia. Grass.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
you see raffia in uh, plant designed for, or basket weaving.
Right.
It's raffia.
What performance was that in? What was
So there's a dance done by the Jola people called a
mhm,
konkon.
mhm,
It is a
mhm.
celebration, very fruitful harvest. And during the season, if the harvest has been really good, this mask is called the kumpo. The kumpo
Okay.
will come out of the tall grasses
Okay.
and dance with the people and be a part. It spins. It looks like a whirling dervish. That headpiece, you would not see a face because
Okay.
the person that embodies
Okay. So the headpiece covers the face.
covers the face,
Okay.
and you spin it, and all of that just
Goes. Oh wow. I bet that's pretty
it
fantastic to see.
is, it's beautiful.
And I bet that was pretty hot.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It's heavy too, heavy and
You
hot.
work in glass as well.
Stained glass. I like repurposed window frames. I like to repurpose window frames in stained glass, and I usually do that when I'm frustrated or when
Mhm.
I think it's a metaphor. Breaking glass kind of releases me. So
Okay.
when things get really kind of hard, I will break glass and make sure it comes out as something beautiful.
Not throw it at somebody.
No, you gotta do something with it.
I break glass too.
Nah, gotta do something with it.
Okay, well, all right. I won't go around throwing it.
In three-dimensional assemblage, so that's some kind of combination of repurposed upcycled denim,
Mhm.
traditional indigo work, doll making, bead work. It's kind of all in there.
Mhm.
That piece is called spirit work.
Okay.
Afrofuturism, that's that part of the piece.
Yeah, I love I love that.
Yeah, so that was part of that. And then sometimes straight out of the indigo vat, you see, I that's some fabric that was in Nigeria. Those are some dolls that I was working on at the time. Um,
Hold on.
and
Those are some interesting vats. The way the vats are.
those are age-old traditions. They sit about 6 feet in the ground.
Hmm.
And because they are buried in the ground like that, it keeps the temperature of the vat stable.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Wow.
So, my work is a convergence. I consider myself that little piece in the middle where everything joins
Right in
together.
here. Right in here.
I consider that to be my work. I consider that to be my sweet spot. If and it is like, some blend of material, time, and place. It's some, blend of an African diaspora worldview, but it's all like past and present and future all at once.
Yeah, I can totally see that because that's what I feel like you definitely cover and transcend just being in the present because you reach back to bring the past into existence, to bring it into reality. And then that in that way you push it forward. It's
That
almost like mhm,
that's my intention, so it
mhm.
is much about the process as it is about the work itself, you know
That's
so
exactly what I see. I mean, that's who is this?
me.
All right. Go ahead, read through this one because I want to get to that one.
My passion for fiber arts embodies the thrust of the movement of the African diaspora.
Mhm,
As the daughter of two educators, my work embodies research and embodies identity and the gathering of the elements of African uh, retention, hoping that we remember deep in
mhm,
our soul, how Africa touches us
mhm.
without even thinking about it so that it's reflex.
Right.
Because pain is reflexive. Why can't glory be reflexive,
Yeah.
right?
Why should we remember the pain of everything and not remember the beauty of it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So if we could throw that beauty in there tenfold, then maybe that pain will, fall back.
Exactly. Mhm,
And I hope to invoke intuitive. That's what I mean, that intuitive memory,
mhm,
reach back into our ancestral histories. And I
mhm,
do, not only that, but with the storytelling that is infused in the work.
mhm, mhm.
And that becomes the here and the now.
Exactly. And that's the difference. It's like being able to bring that portion of history because I find that just living in the Black world. I'm going to put
Mhm.
it that way. We don't go back and get the real history, because it's for so long Black people started at slavery, and that's all you hear. That's
That's
all
right.
you hear. That's all you
That's right.
hear. But there's so much history um about the culture, about who we are, that we never break the shell and actually go in. It's like slavery is only a portion of who you are, and it's not necessarily who you are.
It,
Slavery is not who we are.
you know what
The
it's like? It's like that glass ceiling in the workplace. You got to break through it.
You have to break through it, and that's my thing, is like, break through this whole slavery mentality so that you could actually see who you are and who you were meant to be
That's
and
right.
where you sit in the world. But until this thing is broken, removed, all you see is slavery.
That's right.
Look at
That's
what
it.
they've done to us. Look at what they've done to us. Enough of this.
Well, I mean, and that's valid, but
Right. Yeah, it's
who wants
valid.
to be sad all the time? Who wants to be angry all the time? You can't, you can't accomplish anything
You can't
in
move forward. You
you
can't move forward.
cannot forward. So moving forward means understanding, really understanding the past.
Exactly.
That's what the word Sankofa means. It is
Mhm.
about using that past to build for now,
Mhm.
open the
Mhm.
way for the next.
Right. And not just going back into the past and getting stuck in one moment in time. And that's the whole thing. It's like, if you're going to go back, then go back fully and understand
That's right.
the history.
That's
Don't
right.
go back to the boat. Go
That's right.
beyond the boat. Go beyond the boat.
Well,
Don't go back
check,
to
check the vote out too, because you can't act like the boat
No, no,
wasn't
no.
there.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying don't go to the
yeah.
boat, but right. Yeah.
Check out the boat, because there's some wonderful work that helps us identify with that difficult time
Mhm.
and what
Right.
touch that.
Right.
But you gotta have it all. That's the convergence.
Right.
It's all things.
Exactly. It's like,
That's our
don't get stuck. Don't just get stuck at the boat.
that's
You
right.
know, go beyond. And that's the whole thing, is like, get to know. And that's what I love about what you're doing and speaking and talking with you, is because you went beyond that, and the growth and the experience. You're able to project this wonderment and this what you can learn in the beauty. And that's what I look at. And that's when I was naming my show The Beauty of Blackness, because you're able to show the beauty of it. A lot, that whole beauty for ashes,
Yeah.
and to be able to come out of those ashes with this beauty. And that's what I would like to see, just within our culture, is like, come up, rise up out of those ashes,
That's right.
because there's so much beauty there to be seen. And I
That's
feel like that's what your work does, when you went back and brought it back, your dance, your dance troupe and all of those kind of things. You were trying, your thing is, I know about all of this, but let me show you all of this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know.
Thank you.
Now let's get to you on this here bike.
Oh, so I put it there because really this whole thing is an exciting journey of continuation,
Mhm,
and open-mindedness. It really is. So,
mhm.
you know, um, that's my scooter. I actually got it just before COVID hit. So I haven't really,
And then you got stuck in the house.
and then I got stuck in the house. So I really haven't I've ridden it a few times. If you look at it, I have a mask on there,
Mhm,
it's a metaphor for me.
mhm,
I was a little bit sad because we stuck in, but then in truth is just a message and a
mhm.
metaphor that I get to continue
Mm.
I have the opportunity. I'm blessed to be able to continue to travel, find what fuels me as an
Mm.
artist.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to share that,
Mm.
right? To the best
Mm.
of my ability. I get
Right.
to do that.
Mm.
What kind of a blessing could be bigger than that?
Not a whole lot.
What kind of a blessing could be bigger than that?
I know. I love that. I've been trying to get a scooter forever, and nobody bought me one yet.
Well,
They must know. They be like, if you buy mama a scooter, I don't know. It
if you're
might not
gonna
make
go, yeah,
right.
Scoot, go ahead, go
So
ahead.
I'm gonna
Look,
go with the fact that somebody know more than I do.
so I get to travel, and my travels in the past have found me as a fiber artist, printing,
Oh,
Adinkra
this is
printing.
you're doing a printing right here.
That's Adinkra printing. So
Okay.
the Sankofa symbol, and that, so Adinkra printing in Kumasi, West Africa.
Mm.
You know,
Wow.
or
Mhm.
chatting it up with with some elders in the marketplace in Havana, Cuba. I thought this was so amazing because I said, oh, that's me when I get I'm gonna be this quirky old lady.
There
Wait,
you go. It's like I want to be the lady with the purple hat.
or the one with the cigar. I'm not sure which one it's gonna be, but
Or you say I'm gonna be one of them, but that's just it. It's like I always tell people, we just rule out that we just gonna be old little farts. I'm like, I'm not gonna be an old fart. I'm gonna be one of those. I'm out there. I'm
out
gonna
there.
be like the hula hooper.
You see what I mean? You see, you understand. You understand. Or in Nigeria, learning West African dye traditions,
Wow.
that are specific to the Yoruba culture. Oh my
Wow,
God.
that's amazing. I mean, I just think it's amazing what just those experiences that you've had to be a part of all of that is amazing.
And then I just run through it again. Who am I? I'm Kibibi. Who am I? You know how the rappers do? They say their name all over and over and over again. What? Who am I? I am Kibibi Ajanku.
Ajanku. Wait, Ajanku.
Ajanku. I make and present ethnically charged art. I'm
Mhm.
a fiber artist. I'm an activist artist working for social justice.
Mm.
I used to march. I used to be such a marcher, but now my words speak through the art that I do.
Mm. Yeah.
I stand on the shoulders of my artistry that is rich, it's diverse, it's creative, it's
Mm.
ancestral, while at the same time cutting edge and always, always, always ever changing.
Mm. Mm.
I
Mhm.
consider my work to be a portal that brings messages that inspire and create steps towards a greater balance, and
Mm.
and a greater inclusivity, as
Mm.
because we got to build a better way of existing. What is this that we're in right now?
Exactly. Exactly.
A lot of it changed.
And this is all of the stuff that I just showed you all.
That's all the stuff.
Now, this is you have a website.
I have a website. It is not published right now. I pulled it
It sure
back.
isn't because I tried to pull it up.
I know I hid it because I decided it needed to
Mhm.
say all of those that PowerPoint said. And
Oh, okay.
it
Okay.
really was not balanced. So I just pulled it all the way back. I'm working through all of my social media pages right now as
Okay.
I grapple with that balance, and try to get all of my stuff, my exhibitions up there, my dance stuff up there, try to get it all into one page.
Okay. Craig said, right, right. All right, Craig. Craig was one of the artists from the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. He's a amazing digital artist. And then
Are you,
Denise still up here writing us a whole lot of stuff.
You live in upstate New York on a small
Denise
farm. Oh,
I
so
know.
interesting. You should
Once
have me
again,
come up
getting
there
blocked
and
by
do a dye workshop in the summer.
I think she would. I think. Thank you so much, Anise. Yeah, I think we need to go visit Denise up there on the small farm, and we can all go out there and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. Probably could do us a whole class out there with Denise.
That's
And
right. So
Denise can
stay in
invite all
touch,
her people.
Denise. Stay in
Yeah,
touch
Denise
with
was. I
both of
enjoyed
them.
this immensely, and nice.
Pomegranate makes an interesting dye and
Mhm.
um an interesting ink. You know, you can use pomegranate to an extraction of pomegranate, and you can have some really great colors to paint with. Yep.
Okay. She says she on a 23-acre farm among the Amish.
Oh, so you got some good stuff.
She got some serious acreage up there. All right, Denise, we're expecting to see you some more because, yeah, that would be kind of fun to go and paint amongst the, create some dye stuff amongst the Amish. I mean, if you could get a good group of people up there and some paid fare.
Yeah, you know what I see is a community of people
Mhm.
making dye swatches
Oh
and
yeah.
quilt with those
Oh yes,
patchwork
yes.
quilt.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I could so I yeah, I totally see that. I definitely see that.
Mm-hmm. That was
So I'm hoping you and Denise will connect with you on your social media pages and definitely connect with the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show and like us, follow us, subscribe to us. Do all of that. The Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. We happen every Saturday at 6 o'clock. See, we went a little over. That's because you was the bomb.com. And like us on our Facebook page, follow us, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, which is the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. We'd love to have you. You could follow us on Twitter, all of those kind of things. I'm your host, Louise Cutler, and we want to thank Kibibi so much for being with us. And Kibibi, you got to get some last minute remarks and let us know. What would what's your last minute remarks? What do you want to share with us to take home with us?
yes. Take home. Please follow me on my page. Please follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, like my page, do those things so that we can stay in contact. I think my work is ever evolving, it's ever growing. And so just to hear your feedback, make sure that you are coming to the marketplace. This is the holiday edition of my marketplace. When we get to the spring, it'll go back to the global marketplace. So
I'm on the side, Kibibi, so we can look around it.
I have a I have a combination of work that is imported, great artistry that I import from that other artists are making, and work that I make as well. And we always have fun. Oh my God, we have so much fun. So join me on that.
I'm gonna have to come and be on there with my tie dye too, Kibibi. You
Yeah,
didn't,
come on and do it. Come on and do it. Come on and do it. That'll be nice. We'll have to talk and set up a time. Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much. Like she said, and I said, go and check out Kibibi's work. Like her on Facebook. She has several Facebook pages open, and she does try to keep them balanced. So you will definitely whichever page. And hey, you know what? You can like them all. That's the beauty of it. We do not care if you like every single one of our pages. We don't care if you follow us on every single one of our Instagrams, YouTube channels. Kibibi, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have that YouTube channel up at some point because I just said it.
Yeah.
So definitely have that YouTube channel up. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. We love having new subscribers.
Yeah, I'm going to share this on all my pages, so I think that there'll be, a good bump up in subscribers, and I want to give a shout out to Craig because I saw him during the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, and I really enjoyed your work. So shout out to Craig. Thanks for listening.
See, Craig said beautiful and inspiring. And Craig doesn't watch all my shows, so I was surprised to see him on here. Craig's a great guy, so he obviously liked you, Kibibi. Denise said she would pay for you to come and do a class.
Stay in contact. We can talk. I travel to work. Yes, I do.
Right. Well, if you go, pay for me to come too, because I want to learn how to do what Kibibi.
I travel. I'm a working artist. I travel to work, so we talk and come up.
Yeah,
come
definitely. Oh, I think they would have a blast having you up there, Kibibi.
And if we start planning now while it's cold, then we'll be able to do something when it's warm.
Oh, yeah.
It's cold in upstate New York, so I prefer the summer anyway.
Exactly. And then I can broadcast it right here.
Yes. That's right. That's right.
I can broadcast it right here. Well, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, Black Art and Culture. BB, I'm going to sign you out. Don't go anywhere because we are going to talk afterwards. So I'm going to sign BB out and I'm going to close out the evening. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Black Art and Culture. I have had a fantastic time. Kibibi has been phenomenal. Her work is absolutely awesome. Definitely go and check her out. Like I said, she is all over Facebook. She has a wonderful event coming up. So I'm hoping you guys will go and check it out and be a part of her event. Look for it. She does lives after the holiday. She'll still be doing lives. So definitely go back and check out her event. Like her on Facebook. Follow all of those things. Follow her on Facebook. Check back with us next Saturday. We will have we'll be having another interview next Saturday on the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, Black Art and Culture. Follow us on our Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube pages. We'd love to have you. Once again, I'm your host, Louise Cutler. Definitely go in and check us out on our website, the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show.com. We would love to have you be a part of our collection of people, if I can say that. It's like, clearly I have passed the 1 hour time. But I do want to let you know that there's several things coming up, and one of them is BAM. So definitely check that out. This is actually this was actually going to go on, I think, the 27th through the 28th. So you can still catch Kibibi. You can actually watch Kibibi on the 27th, and you can see BAM on the 28th. So definitely check out Kibibi on the 27th. She'll be up, and then BAM will run that whole weekend. You can see some amazing artists during that. It's the Black Artist Market. Check the Black Artist Market out. And then we will be having the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. Will also be having an event that you guys can come by and see. And I'm trying to find the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show event. It's like I've lost my event because of all the other events. But the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show is also having an event, and there it is. It's the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. We're having a Christmas bazaar, but it's not until December 5th. So definitely check out our event on December. It's this December 5th through this and the 6th, the 5th and the 6th. We're going to have a fine art bazaar. So come by and check that out. And if you are an artist, we are going to be opening the applications for the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show on November 27th. So definitely get there and apply to be a part of the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. Here is the video.